Hey, what's up, y'all? I just wanted to tell you a little quick story. I had a situation jump off, excuse me, last week. There's a gentleman that was in trouble. His mom was a teacher. She told me, not, don't let him go anywhere. He can't touch a ball. That's basically her instructions. Anything that looks remotely like a ball, he can't touch it. And this is a young African-American gentleman, and I could tell he was clearly very upset. I have a good relationship with him, his mom, his dad. I know stuff about them. They're great, wonderful people, you know what I mean? So I sat down, I was like, hey man, what's going on? Asked some questions about what happened, what got him in trouble. He told me, he's like, look, my brother made me mad, so I lit him up. I was like, what did he do? And he was like, I can't even remember. So he just overreacted about something that, and something that he can't even remember about, was that upset him, somehow pushed a button in him, and he ended up not being able to play at recess. And I'm sure he was going to get it from his dad when he got home, knowing him. And he comes from his dad. He's an OG. This dude straight up, what I'm saying, was from the streets. You know what I mean? And when he went to the military, he's out shooting, just bah, 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 he get some. It was like another day in the office for him. This is what he was already doing in the streets. So he looked around at other people like, what's wrong with y'all, man? Shoot, let's go. He was like enjoying it. So I understand, from the day I met his dad to where he is now, I was like, man, you come so far, just your countenance, you're just so full of joy now, you're so peaceful, you just, you know what I mean? He's a great guy, man. And it's like, he was like, man, you have no idea how far I had come when you met me. And this is like, man, 10 years ago maybe. So anyway, said that to say that he has some stuff that was handed down to him that he's trying to get over. My anger issues, we talk about that. My firstborn had to deal with more than my baby. She's 7. I have an 11-year-old who's, she's, a lot less to deal with as far as, those anger issues. It's not really as big of a deal with it, just because it's things that I may have, the way I handle situations with my oldest daughter, that I don't handle that like that anymore, because I learned to be more effective in how I communicate to her without just flying off the handle all the time, So I was talking to him, this young man that I knew, about the black man, the angry African American gentleman syndrome, from how you want to say it. People who are African American came here generally as slaves, and our history then becomes something that can be very, very upsetting if it's talked about in the wrong way, in the wrong context, and it could rise. Emotions can run high very quickly. I understand this. I mean, when I was a kid, they played Roots in my classroom, and black people lost their minds. White people didn't want to come to the school. Staff, administration had to calm everybody down, and what happened was, long story short, we ended up, having a discussion about it, and people started to kind of understand that, what, this guy sitting next to you, he's got European, history. He comes from Europe, you come from Africa. This dude didn't whip you, you know what I mean? His grandparents, his great grandparents may have something to do with slavery, or maybe not. But you don't know. Can't jump to assumptions about these kinds of things, and you need to handle things with more patience and understanding first. Get a handle on things. If somebody comes at you crazy about your history, one of the things that's the key, understand who you are. I'll get back to that in a second, but how you had those G.I. Joes back in the day, you push the back and his hand would come down, pow. As soon as you push that button, it would be like, bam, instant, you know what I mean? Somebody taps you, pow, you're just like, whoa, and it's like a trigger point. So if you can understand why you're reacting the way you are, then you can kind of get a handle. You have to backtrack sometimes. We talk about moving forward, and a lot of people can't move forward because they're so busy looking at the past. Now, I think we must learn from our past, but at the same time, if you're constantly looking at the past, you can't move forward. You look at any culture like that has moved forward, with any culture, with individuals within any culture that have moved forward. Like for instance, Hebrews, Jews who have moved forward from Holocaust, they had horrible scenarios. That genocide that took place was monstrous. And the people who are healthy and wealthy and wise are the people who forgave. That doesn't mean that they let those people out the hook for the murderous acts. It just means that they said, you know what, I know God's justice is going to come upon those people if they don't change. You know what I mean? And so we have to look at our past and say, hey, listen, I know there's a higher court if things are handled here on this planet that is going to take place. and I need to handle my business so that I'm okay when it's just between me and him. That last judgment day. So we got to make sure that we're doing the right thing. Don't worry about the other guy. You know what I'm saying? So talking about understanding our past, our legacy, for me, one of the things I'm so grateful about was, you know, I had a father that understood my history enough to be able to tell me, hey, you have a rich legacy of kings and queens and noble people. You know, not only that, but we have contributed so much to this nation as far as any area you can imagine, from industry, technology, science, innovation, medical. Just the list is just so crazy. It's mind blowing how long the list is of contributions that our culture has made to America and the planet. You know, just ask any person who's had bypass surgery. It's bananas. So I was telling this young man, I said, listen, man, you have to know who you are. So when people come at you in a funny way, you understand that probably more than likely they're the ones with the problem. You know, obviously we have to adjust and make sure that what they're saying isn't true. If it is true, then we need to fix that and work on that and build up our character so that it's not true anymore. But if a person tells you you're stupid, or that you're unintelligent, or you're whatever, some kind of a derogatory comment, more than likely they're frustrated with themselves because they're giving you a reflection. You could learn more about a person by how they talk to you than any other time. How they talk about other people. If you listen to a person talk about other people, you can learn more about that person in those moments than any other time. Their character is going to show more, especially if they're upset. So our character flaws kind of come out more when we're upset, and the little cracks in the pottery, as you will say it. But this is the truth, man. If you can get a grip, if I can get a grip, if we can get a grip on who we are, understand that we're created wonderfully and beautifully. We're not better than anybody else. Nobody's better than us, intrinsically. Now we're talking about skills and your ability to affect a company's bottom line, those kind of things. That's a different subject entirely. You're more valuable to another company, another entity, or somebody else by your actions on an extrinsic level. But internally, you're valuable, man, no matter who you are. And I want you guys to understand that is a really, really important notion to grasp and to kind of embrace, and it'll change how you look at everything and everyone around you. So with that being said, I've been talking too long. The young man was encouraged. He had a great rest of his day. His mom, I don't know what happened when he went home, but hopefully everything was good there too. I'll have to ask her or see how it went for him, but I'm sure he's good. He's a great young man, and he's got a great future ahead of him. Bright young man, and I'm sure you have a great future ahead of you if you're not stuck looking behind you the whole time, man. You're going to bump into something. Believe me, it happened to me. Real quick story, and I'm going to let you go. I was in the weight room. I was teaching weight training, and these young cats, some of them are big dudes, they're thinking that they're like invincible and stuff like that. And so they start flexing on me. And one of the times I had said, listen, we can handle this two ways. One, we can handle it man-to-man. We'll step outside, and we'll handle it. Or we can handle it like I'm a teacher and you're a student, and you can go to the office and settle this with the principal. And he had to think twice, but ultimately, I didn't want to have to end up with assault charges and end up in jail just because I couldn't control my emotions and my pride got in my way, and I ended up behind bars, and my family's not taken care of, my teacher certificate is gone, and it could be real ugly real quick. But those are the emotional triggers that we grew up. And if we grew up in a certain environment, we want to automatically just go to battle when somebody says a certain phrase or a certain thing or attacks your mother or whatever. So you got to step back sometimes, take a deep breath, which I did, and I was like, you don't want to handle this like man to man. Believe me, it doesn't have to go down like that. So I calmly wrote him a referral. I said, listen, man, when you're ready to come back to class, holler at me. And so everything was good. I still have my teacher certificate. Everything's beautiful. So it's a beneficial thing. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy. Have a great week, man. James Del Rey, and I'm out.